What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer taking a look at Malefic, and it's been a long time. I used to play this like trap trick Malefic deck, which is just so silly, and now I'm trying to play it pure because the thing that's so interesting about this deck is that you can play every floodgate in existence. Goes in match, summon limit, skill drain. Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries is obviously pretty good. I also really like to use this card because you just have the extra deck space more than anything. And also, you're not going to have a bunch of monsters on field at any time, so it's not a dead card if you're going first. So he tried to pop my field. I can go ahead and add here, and he ends up surrendering. Must not have had too much in his hand, or maybe he was just frustrated, but there will be some better ones. Like Super Poly is like a big reason. Like this might be best as a going second deck, I'm not sure, but there are so many control elements that you would think like, oh man, I feel like this deck would be a little bit better. Okay, so he's got Mass Change there. I have Super Poly, so I'm just going to hold on to that for a while. And I think Skill Drain also is just like a super deadly card, against Phantom Knights. He's going to try to rank up here. All I have to do is hit him with Skill Drain. And I'm hoping he goes into Rusty, which would help me out a lot. I think he does. And there he goes. So all I have to do is Super Poly his field. I probably doesn't have any more extenders. And I'm sitting pretty. All I need is some sort of field spell. Or actually I don't, because Skill Drain kind of counts as its own field spell because its effects are negated, so it isn't automatically destroyed. Foolish Burial can go ahead and send Boots, and Boots can add him one more churn, so Fog Blade obviously is going to be able to do this. Doesn't have to control a sometimes you can't imperm at this point the Starving Venom because it's already negated, but for Phantom Knights it just has to be an effect monster. I thought that was a pretty interesting ruling there. Dimensional Barrier, he can't go into XYZs. I think he just pitches Mass Change and surrenders, yeah. And that's when this deck is working best, obviously. These last two duels, Summon Limit looks insane. So it's kind of like Summon Limit pass with a big body, which is what it is. Winter Cherries, obviously, I'm kind of interested in playing. We'll see if I get the opportunity. Oh, this was like game one, right? I used Pot of Prosperity. I'm thinking, oh, let me banish some of my Super Poly targets. And I chose Chaos Ruler. And of course, that's what he's really going for here. But I tried to do Stardust in case he was actually playing an Assault Mode deck, and it just didn't work out, which is just funny. But now I can start doing Malefic things. I have two 4K bodies with Summon Limit behind me. I think that's the idea. So after this, if this is not the last replay, I do have one more. I'm going to go over every single Malefic card to say where it's at, because if these cards were a little bit better, this deck would be kind of insane, right? The big bodies is a good idea, but they don't do anything. This is the only Malefic that actually has an effect. Malefic Stardust, the 2500 body, it protects your field spell, but that's we got to get further than that. You know what I mean? We got to get a new field spell that has some sort of protection to it, inherently, or some other sort of support. Super Poly obviously is crazy. So he's down to 0 bodies. I now have a 2800 attack one with a bunch on the way if I can get to a field spell, meaning he really can't play his. Okay, that's a little bit of Malefic. So let's read these card by card. So Malefic Truth can only be special summoned when a Malefic monster is destroyed by battle or card effect. You get to pay half your life points to special summon it. Okay. And that's it. Okay, I guess if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it destroys all face-up monsters. It's just a little too conditional, I feel like. Your Malefic just has to sit there, and then this might be good on the turn after. 5,000 attack is obviously pretty cool, so it's just meh. Malefic Paradigm Dragon, this is by far the best card. You get to it's obviously just a free body. That's the whole idea behind Malefics. And then you get to return a level 8 Synchro to the extra deck and special summon that monster. So literally the only way to do it right now, as far as I know, is to send Stardust Dragon. That's the idea behind it. I think that's why the card was made. But that obviously is a churn. I don't know. Just Stardust Dragon's cool. I can't complain too badly. But this one would definitely be in the new. If there's a wave of new support, this card's always going to be in there. So if there's a wave of Malefic cards that special summon themselves and banish good level 8 synchros, like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon or something like that, for example, that gave you a monster negate, this card becomes significantly better, obviously. Malefic Cybran is the card you play right now because it's just a free 4K body. These other ones right here, the Malefic Blue Eyes, Rainbow, and Red Eyes, mean you have to play bricks in the deck, and you're already playing these cards, so you don't obviously you're just not going to do that because it's not good. Malefic Stardust, like I talked about, sends Stardust Dragon. This is Malefic Parallel Gear. Okay, this card can, when using this card as Synchro Tier, the other Synchro must be a Malefic. Well, then you might as well just play literally any other Synchro too, because it doesn't do anything. So this card's kind of useless. There is Malefic Paradox Gear. If a face-up field spell is on the field, you can tribute this card, special summon a Malefic Parallel Gear from your deck, then add a Malefic monster from your deck to your hand. If a Malefic monster would banish a monster to special summon itself by its own effect, you can banish this card you control in your graveyard instead. Like, this is alright. I can imagine, like, this is... I don't know. This isn't the worst card in the world. Like, if you obviously, if like the Malefic monsters become better, like this card gets a huge boost, and I think probably that's the idea, but I don't know. This is Malefic Selector. You get to banish 2 Malefics from your graveyard, add 2. Right now, it's like not easy on turn 1 to get 2 in the graveyard. So if there is a new wave of support, that maybe Foolish Burial's 2 Malefic cards, because this one does have an effect. Then maybe you're cooking with gas a little bit. Maybe there can be a Malefic card that says send 1 monster and send 1 spell or trap, Malefic trap to the graveyard. That way you can, you know, I don't know. you get the idea that this card has the potential to be very good, right? You get to expend resources in the graveyard that no longer have use to you, and then you get to add, right, 2 Malefic cards, any 2 cards as well. So I mean, like, as soon as there's a new wave support, I'm sure this card will be like usable. Malefic Divide just special summons one of them back. Just not very great. It is a quick play spell, but it banishes during the end phase, kind of making it useless. Malefic Territory is decent, so it's activated. You get to activate a Malefic World from your deck, and then neither player can target cards in the field's zone with card effects. The Malefic monster, where it says there's only 1 face-up Malefic on the field, becomes there's like only 1 of each name. So this is kind of like the first decent, but like, why would it not target and protect from destruction? It just feels like super, super weak. Also, that's like kind of its only effect, which is kind of not good. And then Malefic World, this is obviously the biggest problem in the deck, right? You have access to these cool monsters, and it all depends on the field spell. And the field spell does nothing. It's a field spell that can be Ash, meaning like instead of your draw phase, you could reveal 3 Malefic cards. One of them is randomly added to your hand. That's all it does. It doesn't protect your Malefic monsters from battle, from card effects, none of it. Like, Toon World is like objectively way, way better than this card. So, kind of meh. Malefic Toon, it's like you get to draw 2, but most importantly, if you send it to the graveyard, you get to add a Malefic monster from deck to hand, which obviously can be sent, you know, with Paradigm Dragon, so maybe it's a decent one of. And this is Malefic Claw Stream. Activate only if you control a Malefic monster, select a monster your opponent controls, destroy it, which is probably just a little bit too slow. And Malefic Paradigm Dragon lets you select a Synchro monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. Like, it also gets destroyed when there's no card, so you're never really going to hard make this, really, or there's no reason to right now. Like, even if you had, like, Nadir Servant, obviously you can't bring it back, so, like, how easy is it to make Synchro monsters in this deck? To make one, and then make this on top of it to bring it back. Like, it just doesn't seem very good. So, in conclusion, like, this is good. And yes, like, I think this is the only good real Malefic card. It's not that the idea of the deck is bad, it's that the cards are. So hopefully, I just did a video about Evil Eye, which was super random, and it just got a new wave support. Maybe Malefic can do the same thing. It's only a matter of time. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.